I suck at consistency. I suck at staying on track because I lack consistency. I lack discipline as well. I know that about myself, but we're here to break that cycle. In my last video, I spoke a lot about how hard it is to be consistent and that I am trying to break this cycle of being bad at being consistent and getting discouraged over little things and just stopping and starting and stopping and starting again. And now I'm here where I'm like, okay, let's look at my life as a whole and figure out what it is that I want to do, one, and then figure out what I need to do to get there. So the number one thing is I just want to build my dream life. And I know I mentioned that before, but in my head, my dream life is this big goal that's like almost impossible to achieve, but on paper, it is actually very achievable. And part of it I am already doing. I just don't do it. I don't want to say laziness, but it's just there's no drive to want to do the things that I say I want to do. And I need to figure out why that is. So I was thinking like, okay, let me take it back to the basics. When people want to do something, they do things like organize their space. And that is something that I've been working on because I'm like, oh, I'm like this super creative person and all I want to do is paint and, have these overalls that are paint splattered and all that. And I'm sorry, but you can't be very creative in a cluttered, disorganized space. You have to get that ish together, honestly. And I know I'm not the most organized person, so I gotta stay on top of that. And that is where I think the discipline needs to come in. Got to stay on top of that. And just, yeah, your room looks a mess. Clean it up, fold those clothes, put those clothes away, stop leaving things away from their home. Have a second home for them so that they just have a landing place, something. I know when I was younger, my dad drilled into me that everything needs a home pretty much. It needs a space to be. And when I get home from somewhere, I always try to hang my purse up on the back of the door, the purse I'm currently wearing anyway. I'll take my shoes off, put them in front of my bed, which is a good space for now. But at some point, if it's like all these shoes in front of my bed, then they need to go in the closet. So I try to just be on top of that stuff now. As for the other stuff like folding clothes, just not putting my jewelry back where it needs to be, I need to be more on top of that. That's where the systems, I guess, need to come in. In my dream life, in my head at least, I am disgustingly organized to the point where I know where everything is without even needing to be in my room. That is how organized I want to be. Like, I don't even want to talk about my desk. My desk isn't even that bad, but I need for it to be better. As far as cleanliness goes, I am a pretty clean person. Like, I'm not like, there's no dirt anywhere or anything like that. But I do fall behind on like cleaning my sink. And I know that that's something that I need to be on top of. And that needs to be a weekly task instead of like an every other week or every 2 weeks. But even if it's just like, oh, every other day, just take a little Lysol wipe and just wipe down the counter. That is all that needs to happen just to make my life easier. And when we stop kind of like upkeeping things, and not because we're lazy or whatever, we just forget, or we're like, oh, I'll do it when this is done, or I'll do it after this. It starts to become this task that like, oh yeah, and then it becomes too big to actually get done. And it does really start with the basics. Now, let's move on from the basics because I think we all know that like things need to be organized, things need to be written down or planned and all that. Like we know this. Let's get into the bigger stuff and talk about how I need to get back into my art because I have not drawn in months now. And normally, summertime, I am painting, I am drawing, I am doing all these things, but I've been so focused on posting on social media that I have not had time to do any of my artwork. And I'm trying to figure out which direction Black Candy Co. is going to go in. And it's one of those things where if the personal life is not lifing the correct way, how is my work life supposed to? The other day, I had to figure out, okay, what am I doing with Black Candy Co. and where do I want it to go? Now, of course, I have to consult with my mom because that is our baby. We are going to slow down, one, and take our time with Black Candy Co. and just make it more of a concept than an actual like storefront or business. And yes, there will be stuff still on the Black Candy Co. website. Like I'm definitely keeping the affirmation cards up there because I think those embody the brand ethos. So those can always be up on the storefront. They will always be for sale. So I will definitely keep that up. And as far as my art goes, because I still want my art to have a life, I will just create my own type of studio or storefront. I'm actually going to let it live on Black Candy Co. for a while, but I am going to let it have its own Etsy. I'm very familiar with Etsy. It's free to use for the most part. And if I need to mail something out, I can. But I will start at a place where, hey, this is my art. This is how much it costs. I'm not changing the price kind of a thing. And instead of like going so ham on stickers and stuff, I'll go more ham on the art prints and the original artwork. Part of the problem is that I have too many ideas living in one space. The stickers, the notepads, the affirmation cards, the art, like that's all cool if I was an already established brand. I just need to slow down. And I think that's a big part of the issue that happened with Black Candy Co. Like I was like, oh, well, everybody else is doing notepads. Everybody else is doing sticky notes. Let me put that out. Oh yeah, now let me do art prints. And I was just rushing and I wasn't growing that much at the same time. And I think when I started to look back and actually reflect on what was happening, that's when I was like, okay, so we just need to take a beat. And then trying to do all those rebrands where she's like, okay, focus on original art. It was like, but that you went all the way left with the rebrand. So now the final rebrand is literally just a concept. And I like to think of brands like Mad Happy or Glossier. Mad Happy first started off posting about mental health, wellness. And Glossier just started posting, I forget what they started posting, but they didn't like start selling stuff until I want to say their second or third year they were in business. So, but Glossier started off with having this like no makeup look vibe, and it was skincare for a minute there. And now it's taken off into this big makeup brand. So I think for that stuff, it's okay to slow down, and it's also okay to downsize. Like I talk a lot about bringing the blog back, and is my heart really in having a blog? Yes and no. And it's because I do love writing, but also I think that needs to come more naturally. It can't just be like, okay, well, I need to write 3 blog posts for this month. It needs to be like more, okay, let's start with 1 blog post a month and work from there. Like we don't have to be pushing out stuff like that. And I think that's where social media has gotten us all messed up, where everything has to be so quick. And it's that whole instant gratification thing. I went on a little tangent there. So now let's talk about this dream life here. So I saw a woman on TikTok talking about you need to plan out your perfect day. Just write down everything that you want to happen for your perfect day. And then she said, and then audit it and figure out what you can start doing now. And I love that idea. And it's so funny. I wrote down my perfect day and it was a normal day. Like there was nothing different about the day that I don't already do. So I was like, I feel like I could dream a little bit bigger. And so that's going to be my next step. And then I'm going to audit it. But today I started off my day literally going out of my garden like I always do. And I came back in and did Pilates because I keep saying, oh yeah, I need to do Pilates. I'll do it like 11 a.m. after I've eaten already and, you know, right before like I get into the bulk of my work. But then I was like, no, I'm going to do it now because I'm just sitting here. I'm just laying here. I just came back in the house. I'm not hungry yet. Let's just do the Pilates now. I have these things in place that I need to do. Like I even need to write down, hey, my perfect day includes eating the meals that I prepped earlier in the week, especially for lunch. Like dinner, I don't mind putting dinner together last minute, but I need to at least food prep. Every vegetable that was purchased earlier in the week needs to be chopped up same day I get it, or at least the next day. There definitely needs to be certain things in place. And I think that's where things go wrong, because once things aren't out of place, I'm tired from the day and I'm like, oh, I gotta cook. And then I like cook it and I eat it and then I barely enjoy it because I didn't really want to cook it. And also I think we all need grace for ourselves. Like if there's a day that you just don't want to cook, you want to go grab something real quick, or you just want a little TV dinner, that's okay. Or a girl dinner. Like I am quick to put together some sardines, crackers, a banana, and apples and call it a night. It's not very filling, but it'll do the job. So I say all that to say that I'm going to write down my perfect day. And if you are also trying to build your dream life, definitely follow this. I will link the video down below so you can go see it. But if you're not on TikTok, basically the woman said to write down your perfect day down to all the details. Don't just like write, woke up at 8:30, went for a run, like write the time, write everything that you want to happen throughout the day, the meals you are trying to cook and how you want to feel afterwards, the workouts you do and how you want to feel afterwards. Always write that down and then go back and audit it and figure out what you can do right now or today. And then you can kind of figure out either what else you can add or what you can subtract, what actually works for your life. Because sometimes we'll be like, oh, here's my dream life. Because I know for me, what ended up happening was like, I was like, okay, let me write down my perfect day, my perfect dream life day or whatever. And then I'm like, it's kind of boring, but also not very fulfilling. Like I didn't even put in drawing or any art in there or anything like that. And I was like, oh, well, that definitely needs to go in there. So that's what I'm going to do for this next one. So technically this is the audit, but I'm just redoing it. So that's all I have for today. I am glad I finally have like a series to actually talk about, like, yeah, building my dream life. Duh. That's what I've been trying to do. So yeah, glad I have a series to talk about now, and I hope you enjoy this and resonate with it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.